Welcome back. In Part 1, we explored the basic playground of vector spaces. In quantum mechanics, we give this playground a specific name, Hilbert Space. When we want to describe a quantum system, we represent its entire physical state as a single vector in this Hilbert space, called a state vector or wave vector. Mathematically, we write this state as a clean column vector. But how do we get the familiar wave functions we see in textbooks, like a function of position or momentum? We get them through projection. If we take our abstract state vector and project it onto a basis of definite positions, the components give us the position wave function, psi of x. If we project that exact same state vector onto a basis of definite momenta, it reveals the momentum wave function, phi of p. The wave function is simply our state vector expressed from a specific point of view. Operations as linear transformations. Now, what happens when a quantum state changes? Whether a particle moves across a room or interacts with a magnetic field, any change to a wave function is represented by a linear transformation. In our mathematical language, the state vector is a column vector, and the transformation operator is a matrix. When an operator acts on a state, it performs a linear transformation, meaning it moves the vectors in our Hilbert space while keeping the origin fixed and keeping the grid line straight and parallel. If you know exactly how a matrix transforms your fundamental basis vectors, you know exactly how it transforms every single state vector in the entire space. The geometrical meaning of the determinant. To understand how these matrix transformations behave, we look at a vital property, the determinant. Instead of thinking of the determinant as a formula, look at its geometric meaning. It is the area or volume scaling factor of the transformation. Imagine your initial unit basis vectors form a small square with an area equal to exactly 1. When a matrix transformation acts on the space, it shifts, stretches, or rotates those basis vectors, turning that square into a parallelogram. The area of that new transformed parallelogram is exactly the determinant of the matrix. If the determinant is 2, the transformation doubles the area of the basis grid. If the determinant is 1, the transformation might rotate or shear the space, but it leaves the total area perfectly unchanged. If the determinant is 0, it means the matrix completely squashes the space, flattening a 2D plane into a 1D line. Information is lost, and you can never undo the operation. Evolution versus measurement. Every transformation in quantum mechanics falls into one of two categories, depending on whether we are observing the system or letting it run undisturbed. Crucially, both of these processes are linear transformations, but they alter our space in completely different ways. 1. Unobserved system. Unitary time evolution. When a quantum system is left entirely alone and unobserved, it undergoes smooth, continuous change over time. This unobserved evolution is governed directly by the time-dependent Schrödinger equation. H psi equals I bar dou psi by dou t. This process is represented by a unitary matrix transformation. Geometrically, a unitary matrix acts like a rigid rotation of our Hilbert space. It changes the directions of the vectors, but its determinant is always exactly 1. This means it perfectly preserves the areas of the basis grid, the lengths of the vectors, and the angles between them. Because vector length represents total probability, unitary evolution guarantees that your total probability always stays perfectly conserved at 100%. 2. The act of measurement, the non-unitary collapse. The exact instant we make a measurement, the rules change violently. Measurement is an abrupt, discontinuous, and non-unitary transformation. It does not evolve smoothly over time. Instead, it instantly forces the state vector to collapse into a definitive reality. This action is governed by the eigenvalue equation. Capital A psi equals small a psi. When you measure a property, the measurement operator acts like a harsh filter. Geometrically, it behaves like a zero-determinant transformation for all other possibilities. It flattens the superposition, erasing all other choices, and forces the state vector to land squarely on one specific eigenstate, revealing a real, physical eigenvalue small a on your lab instrument. Conclusion. Whether a system is smoothly rotating through time via a unitary transformation or sharply flattening into an eigenstate during a measurement, everything is governed by the geometry of linear transformations. Two completely different physical phenomena, both dictated by the simple geometry of linear transformations. Now that we understand how matrices act on our space, we are ready to watch them drive the clock forward. Join us in our next episode, Part 3, The Architecture of Time, where we explore the continuous, rigid rotation of the unobserved universe.